Welcome back, everybody. We are here with another product review, and when we were doing the Mizunos or the Even Roll, I don't remember which one, we had mentioned something about a L.A.B putter because Aaron had been playing with it, and so we decided to bust it out and actually talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely. So yeah, so we've got the branding iron here, the kettlebell, whatever you want to call it. This is the
looks like a bottle opener from this side.
Yeah,
for
it
me.
does look like you could
I'm
pop
not an alcoholic.
a giant bottle on that. This is the Direct Force 2.1. Comes in 4 colors. No. Yeah, 4 colors
Blue,
now.
black,
Blue, black, red. And now they have like a nickel or a, just like doesn't have a finish on it.
Gotcha.
So they have 2 models out. We'll show the other model too. This is, we've got the blade at the shop. We'll show it. We've got a stability shaft in this one also. Other things that L.A.B does, they have this forward press grip. So everything is legal to use, but instead of having to press your hands forward or do something like that, because it's kind of center shafted, back a little bit off the face, this grip actually has your hands pressed a little bit forward off the start.
Right. And we'll talk a little bit about the science as we start to hit. We realized in the other videos we got a little long way at the beginning. So we're going to get into it a little bit faster.
Jump it.
Most notably, players that have used this putter. So it's been around, sorry, I just walked off camera. It's been around on tour for a little bit.
Yeah.
Most notably, Adam Scott had it with a broomstick.
Yep.
Or was it a broomstick or an arm lock? I forget which way he used it.
I think it was more of an arm lock. Jimmy Walker, he used it just recently, and I just lost his name. It was last week. He was in second, well, whatever it was. He was in second place at Boston. No, not Boston. The one before Boston, the FedEx. Man, I can't remember his name. I'll put a link. We'll put
I'll just
something
cut
on
this
there.
whole thing out.
God dang, I wish I could remember his name.
Yeah.
Doc, can't remember his last name. His name's Doc. He's using one. He just used it last week.
So my take on the PGA Tour guys using this is obviously you have to be authorized by the PGA Tour to be on site and all those things. And they have done that. They had enough players playing it where they did it last year. I think it was their first year doing it. Maybe the year before.
Possibly.
It's unique. The science behind it is amazing. And I will say that it does exactly what they say it's going to do. It's unique. It's awkward looking.
It's different.
I putted with one for about, I'm going to say 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Took a lot of grief for it too.
Oh yeah, you pull it out and people are like, what is that? I mean, I'm putting with the Mizuno now.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I may go back to this.
Really?
I've liked it. I've rolled it pretty good.
Right.
It rolls a straight ball. Like it really does.
Yeah. So we are back on the TrackMan system with us because what we've noticed is while you can walk outside and get on a putting green and get a review and see it roll, you're not necessarily getting these numbers and these stats in a controlled environment where we can do that in here. So we have a tendency to use this because we can see exactly club path, face angle, ball speed, and distance. Obviously, the distance is more for us. You guys should be more concerned about path angle and ball speed, or not really ball speed, but really face angle, which didn't pick up there.
Here's jumping into the science of this thing. It's lie angle balanced. Okay, whenever you hold it right here, it just kind of sits. Now that stability shaft is doing stuff.
Right, and so if you're talking about it, and I'm just going to use your putter as an example because mine doesn't really do this. There's putters that are designed for people with large arches. There's people that are designed with straight back, straight through. So this is Aaron's Mizuno putter. And if I hold that exact same thing in my hand, see how that toe hangs? Well, if I move it to say right there, it goes back.
Correct. This one wants to sit just like this, face up and square. They have a really cool thing that we can use on it. I don't have it set up on this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we can show. It's called the Revealer, and it does some wild stuff. But biggest thing for me, this is the biggest thing I have with this. Not that I'm going to miss the face on a putt by, this is a large face. Not that I'm going to miss the face by 2 inches out on the toe, but I'll show you numbers right here. This putt, I'm going to do my best to strike it in the center of the club face.
As I walk right in front of the TrackMan.
Felt like I struck that center of the club face. Let's see distance and let's see ball speed. And it says 13.9 feet, 13 foot 9 inches on the distance, 6.2 miles an hour of ball speed. Okay, now Ryan, if I were playing at Augusta on those 28,000 stemp greens and I have a downhill putt, where would I normally hit the putt to slow it down?
Yeah, typically you want to go to the toe.
Towards the toe. Okay, so let's move this ball out on the toe, and we're talking like an inch from where I just hit it, and I'm making the exact same stroke. Is the exact same as I could possibly make it.
We're not working with Iron Byron over here.
Yeah. 13.9 feet, and it's about, whatever, a half a mile an hour faster. I may have struck the ball a little bit harder. I moved the ball 1 inch out on the toe, made the exact same feeling of stroke, and I don't have the ball speed drop.
Typically when you get that with a traditional putter, whether it be a toe hang, big arc, or a mallet that's face balanced.
Yes.
When you miss-hit a ball, whether it heel or toe, it causes this goofy little spin thing that happens because it always jumps off the club a little bit differently.
Yep.
And so what their thing is that, and where the word direct force is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong when I say this, but direct force comes from the standpoint of it's directionally forced, but it's the same amount of force that's being pushed forward the entire way across the face, and it's even. So that's why he was able to put that on the toe and get a very similar distance and ball speed off of that.
Yeah, those two balls were hit. I mean, that's a solid inch, maybe inch and a quarter.
Yeah, typically
difference.
If I pulled your putter out and said, hey, hit this on the toe without an inch, and you didn't mean to, obviously you can always adjust. Like you said, if you're on faster greens, you do that, and you're going to consciously bring that toe in a little bit harder just to kind of keep it square. But if you were to hit a blade on the toe, it's going to shoot off to the right.
It's going to shoot off, and we're not going to have, like if you look at the two putts right there, they're basically on top of each other, same line.
Yeah, you're going to lose distance,
which
is why when you hit down speed on a fast green, you have a tendency to go to the toe if you're just trying to kind of let it die. But it's also going to shoot off, and it's going to come off there. So not only is it going to shoot off a different direction, more than likely right,
unless you're doing
a different speed, and you're going to cause this weird goofy spin thing.
Yeah,
and so
it's staying on line.
After it goes through that initial skid, it's going to want to shoot off typically to the right if it's on the toe. You molting?
I had a piece of turf come off on me.
Okay, new turf. It's different.
It is. It's weird. It's funky looking, but I'll say this: that if you're struggling, if you're struggling to make some putts and you need a change, something to try.
And that's I think the biggest thing I've noticed from the tour guys using it is they seem to use it for a little while and then go back. And I still have mine. Typically on stuff like this, I would send it back to the manufacturer or whatever. I still have mine. I'm not gonna say I've never pulled it out. I mean, it had the original grip on it. I mean, it was one of the first ones that they did.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robbie. I will use it when I feel a little off in my swing, with my stroke. Sorry, my putting stroke. It's too much for me. I don't really like the way it feels personally. It does have a little bit of a pingier feel.
Yep, it does have a little ting to it.
And it's awkward to look at. And it's not just because that head's kind of goofy. It's also, and again, you guys are going to see this kind of close up, but it's also how that shaft comes in, because that shaft automatically forward leans, but because you don't want the grip necessarily to do all of that stuff too, because it's going to be way out here, it comes in at an angle so the grip is straight up and down, but the shaft is on, it just messes with my sight lines.
Yep.
I think the math behind it and the physics behind it are incredibly, insanely cool.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hear these guys talk, and we'll link to their website below in the description so you can kind of read up on yourself, but
yeah, the stuff they have to say and the way they've developed it, the fitting process for it is pretty cool. It's, we figure out, we have a fitting putter in the shop.
Yep.
It's got a little nut on it that you screw. It goes up and down so we can get length of the putter. And then whenever you get set, wherever your hands are and your setup is, we make sure that putter's flat on the ground.
Yep.
Twist it, tighten it, lay a little monitor on it and see what the lie angle is, because that's what the whole thing with this is. It's all based on your lie angle.
Right, and that's what I was going to say.
Into the stroke.
It's not straight spots. I want to put one. It's been a while since I've used it. It's super, super important. You scuff this guy up a little bit there, guy.
Yeah, it's been
beating around.
It's been ran through it.
The big thing here when you're fitting these, and what's so important, with a normal putter, you can kind of get away with it being maybe not the right length. A lot of guys play with a 35-inch putter. Probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I play with a 34. It could probably go to 33 and a half, 33 and a quarter in there. It's a different feel, and I know, what did they tell us? You're supposed to hit up on it. Obviously, you're supposed to hit up on all putters.
Play it further up on your front foot than you normally would.
Right.
Like,
And you don't want to
lighter grip, no press. Just let it set where it sets and
when I heard
hit it.
Keep your hands a little soft and just let the club. Essentially, you're just a motor for it at that point.
You're just kind of letting it drop into the back of it,
which is really weird. Oh, that felt.
That's right.
Straight.
That's
Awful,
right.
but straight. It's a different feel. It's a different look.
It is.
I'd not pick it up.
Different feel, different look. I mean, like we were saying though, I mean, if you're wanting to change, it's a good one. I'll say this too, if you're having distance issues,
Right.
it's a pretty good one to look at just because of like we said, the science behind it and all that. I mean, that's as straight as it gets right there. Didn't move off the line. You really, really notice things. For me at least, whenever I get out on long putts, 20, 30-foot putts, your mid-range birdie putts from like 30 feet. The speed drop, all that stuff, like really plays a factor in that. Whenever you're taking a bigger stroke at it, maybe you have a little wiggle in your stroke and you mishit it a little bit, and the ball is still ending up relatively where you want it to be at.
Yeah, I will say one little disclaimer, because this isn't necessarily completely stock.
Yeah.
You do have a stability shaft in here, which I don't know from a direct force side. I don't think it affects their direct force stuff.
No.
It does give you feedback a little differently. Like I actually prefer the feel of this now.
Yeah, it feels a lot softer.
Yeah, it's not as pingy. It's the feedback's a little different from it. So I actually prefer that. Now it's yet another, because on a stability shaft it drops right here. So you have yet another
line down there.
Another fun little added thing. So it's a little much for me.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I won't ever use it again. I have a tendency to use it more like a training aid. Kind of trying to get my stroke back to where it should be, keeping your hands quiet and soft.
There's some kind of cool drills you can do with that too.
Yeah, there really are.
Set a golf ball on the back in like the bottle opener looking thing. You can set it on there, and then as you're making your stroke, the ball should stay in that little channel back there instead of falling out if you get like quick with your hands or something like that.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, in theory, it works great. But yeah, so direct force, really cool technology coming out of those guys.
My fingers don't bend that way.
Crank.
That's a good
Yeah, like I
ball.
said, if you're wanting to see a change, different things like that, you're having speed issues, line issues, that kind of stuff, it's something to go check out for sure. Find you somebody that fits for them. I would recommend that. I would not just go grab one off the shelf.
I would almost say require it, because
Yeah.
how this thing is fit with that angle is
exactly to you.
Yeah, so if you get that angle wrong and it's propped up on the ground like that a little bit, it kind of takes all the math and physics out of it.
It doesn't work.
And your misses are going to be a lot worse.
Yeah,
So-
you can go to their website, L.A.B or Direct Force, whatever it is. We'll put a link on it, and they have a list of all their fitters around the country.
Right, but if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area,
Come see us.
the guys at
1611
1611 have all of
get you
that
set up.
stuff. So,
Absolutely.
all right, well, that's going to do it for us.
Wrap it up. We appreciate y'all checking in.
See you later.